Hi, Tony Selzer here. Welcome to the line. We've got a longtime listener, first-time caller on here, a good friend from way back. Cellular optimization is really one of those businesses that has figured out a killer way to hack your business in a way to put more money in your pocket. And just as simple as that sounds, what does cellular optimization do? What's the basis of what you kind of came up with this business, Brett?
All right. Well, so our whole principle is we find one of these $20 bill and we find it in your cellular bill. We give it to you and then you take that and then we ask you to give me $10 back. So you got a 10 for me because I just gave you 20.
Right? Yeah, I give you one of these.
10. So you give it back to me and that's what we do. And it is pretty simple. And your cell phone bill is rife with errors, problems. It's confusing. It's difficult to deal with. So we navigate that maze. We make all the calls. We argue with them. We fight with them. We get the credits. We make sure they apply them. And only once you get a new bill that proves you saved, do we ever invoice. So that's what we do.
So that it's an ongoing service, right? It begins, and it's almost like a SaaS subscription model, really. And for that, you get that constant benefit of having somebody kind of broker and negotiate your relationship as a middleman with these providers, because I know what happens in my bill. It seems just to keep creeping up and creeping up and creeping up, right? It's like I get it down to 100 and then it's back to 200. Now whack it back down to 100. And that's for organizations that have 30, 40, 50 phones or hundreds of phones in the field or thousands with the field sales or field tech. I mean, this is big dollars that you can help save these types of organizations. Am I right?
That's exactly right. That $20 is typically what we find per phone. So multiply that times the number of phones. And we look at it as kind of managed services. We manage all the billing problems that you would have. So if you prefer to call your carrier's customer service billing department and be on hold and talk with them and fight with them, you get to do that. Or if you want, you can have us do it for you.
Now, Brett, what gave you the idea, the impetus to start something like this? I mean, this is a pretty cool play, and it seems like a no-brainer.
It does seem like a new no-brainer, but it's not always. So this got started. So I worked for AirTouch, which became Verizon, and I was in business account sales for cell phones. And I got promoted to major accounts. I got promoted to national accounts, and I always did super well. And I would go to my clients and say, hey, I have good news for you. I just reduced your bill by 20% just by fixing the billing errors and the problems. You can now afford 20% more phones. Who is it that you want to reach that you have a tough time getting hold with? Oh, it's the IT department. They're never at their desk. Oh, let's get them cell phones. Led our region, always promoted for it, did really great with it. And one day I was said, you can't fix anyone's bill anymore. I said, well, what do you mean? I'm just making it what it's supposed to be. And they said, well, if you do that again, you'll get written up and fired. I'm like, ooh, this is not good. And so I told my clients I couldn't do this. And they're like, whoa, you've got to do this. You've done this for us for years. I said, well, I can't. They said, we'll pay you. And I said, well, what would you pay me? And they told me it was 4 of my bigger clients said they would do it. It was double what I was making as a rep. So I came home, told my wife, and I said, we just started a business. And she's like, you did what? Like, we just started a business. And by the way, I should make double what I was making. So I got her attention with that. And it was me with a spreadsheet. Now we've got people in Phoenix, Louisville, Nashville, New York, New Jersey, and we've got our own programmers on staff. It's a SQL database. So it's just continually grown. We've grown 100% a year the last 3 years in a row, and every year we've grown 30 to 50%.
I mean, what a great story just of how you've taken opportunity and really a mission to serve. I mean, you had your client's best interests at heart. You were using that to be really a leader in sales, and then you instead of giving up who you were and walking away from what made you great as a salesperson, you decided to just build a business with it. And I think that's really, finding the volatility creates unique opportunity. That's really what you did. Am I kind of summing it up?
Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up in a nutshell.
So ideal client for you is what?
We really are looking for 75 cell phones and up. If it's less than that, it doesn't pay us enough to keep the lights on. And is it confusing enough? is pretty much the idea. And so it's corporate build cell phones too.
Right.
So not individual.
Yep.
That's the ideal client.
So larger clients got a large field that of just people all over, maybe field tech, field sales. That's a good fit and kind of a no-brainer because you guys, you know, you're a mile deep and an inch wide in what you do. And that's the power of leveraging something that is an expert and specialist in what they do. You guys deal with this stuff every day through all the carriers and all the hoo-ha. And the value proposition is really simple. I mean, you know, it's like give us half of what we save you and we'll save, you know, we're motivated to do it and we're compensated for that. I mean, that's pretty clean and simple. It's probably the reason you're growing is the message is tight and your value proposition is strong. I mean, it's a no-brainer combo.
We try and make it as straightforward. If it gets complicated, you know, it gets difficult to feel out. And it's been a fun ride. It's to be interesting to see where it goes. Pricing's getting different. Cell phone pricing went down every year from the launch in '83 till 2007, and it's gone up every year since. So every year they're finding ways to increase your bill. And what you hit on is great. We're on the same side of the table as our clients. If they pay less for their cell phones, we win and they win. The cell phone carriers on the other side of the table, their goal is to get as much money from you as possible. And we hear it all the time. They say, well, my cell phone provider said they'll watch it for me. That's definitely the fox watching the hen house. No question.
Amen. Amen. Cellular optimization, Brett Thompson, thanks so much for being on the show. Another Indiana company making a difference.
Thanks. Hey, one thing, if it's possible, we're looking for people. We don't have a direct sales force, so we're looking for referrals, and we compensate for referrals. Our average referral fee is $10,000.
Wow.
So it might be worth it if you know somebody, have them contact us.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.